South Africa continues to grapple with economic growth due to multiple economic challenges. This is evident in the Standard & Poor's report, which raised its concern about the country's growing debt levels above 70% of GDP. Good news is that the ratings agency has kept the country's economic outlook unchanged at stable despite the worsening fiscal position. Economists say while the S&P stance is welcomed, it doesn't bode well in positioning the country as a good investment destination.
Standard & Poor's decided to keep South Africa's rating unchanged, and I think chances are that they will maintain the specific outlook for quite some time. But unfortunately, it's still junk bonds, which means South Africa is not considered as a good investment destination. Whether you buy South African rand-denominated bonds or dollar-denominated bonds, South Africa is seen as so-called junk bonds, which simply means that we will be paying quite expensive if we want to borrow money locally or internationally.
The rating agency also noted the private sector's substantial investments in power generation and renewable energy. These investments are expected to support economic growth over the medium term. National Treasury, on the other hand, has welcomed the rating decision. Treasury says that government will continue its push to resolve electricity and logistical constraints to help catalyze growth in the local economy. Economists say this is a necessary step for the country's economic growth.
I get the impression that Standard & Poor's is getting a little bit more upbeat about the outlook for the South African economy. They mentioned private sector investment in power generation, and we all understand and know that power is a major constraint to the South African economy. I also get the impression that Standard & Poor's reckons there is a possibility of slightly higher inflation over the next couple of months, and that of course will depend on things like, for example, the exchange rate of the currency and international oil prices.
S&P Global says it viewed the country's outlook as stable given its credible central bank, the country's flexible exchange rate, an active trade currency, and its deep capital markets. Nothando Makutulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.